This video isn't about intelligence. It's not about calling anyone wrong, and it's not about proving who's smarter. It's about a pattern we all fall into quietly, naturally, and often without noticing. A pattern that shapes how we argue, how we learn, and how confident we feel, even when we shouldn't. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect. Imagine buying furniture that says easy to assemble. You skim the instructions. You don't need them. You've built things before. Halfway through, you're confident you're doing great. The structure looks solid. Then you reach the end and there are extra screws. At this stage, most people don't think I misunderstood. They think the instructions were bad. That moment confidence, without full understanding, is where the Dunning-Kruger effect lives. You see, it isn't about being stubborn. It's a natural human tendency. We tend to build a narrative where we are competent, and anything that challenges that must be the fault of external factors. It's a defense mechanism, a way our brains protect our sense of self. But this very protection can prevent us from seeing the full picture and, more importantly, from actually learning and improving. The extra screws aren't just a sign of a mistake. They are an invitation to re-examine our own process. The Dunning-Kruger effect describes a paradox. When people know very little about a subject, they often feel very confident about it. As they learn more, their confidence drops. And only after deep understanding does confidence return quieter, more cautious, more measured. Not because people become less capable, because they finally see how much there is to know. This initial peak of confidence is often called Mount Stupid. It's a place where a little knowledge feels like a lot. As you start climbing down from that peak, you enter the Valley of Despair. This is where you realize the true scale of the subject. And it can feel overwhelming. But pushing through that valley is where true expertise begins to form. Your confidence starts to rebuild, but this time it's on a solid foundation of real knowledge and experience, not on the illusion of competence. It becomes a more humble, more realistic self-assessment. Think about driving. New drivers often feel confident very quickly. They know the basics. They feel in control. Experienced drivers know something different. How unpredictable other people are, how quickly things go wrong, how little control you actually have. That's why the loudest drivers are often the least experienced. The calmest ones have seen enough to stay quiet. Knowledge doesn't inflate ego, it humbles it. A novice driver focuses on the mechanics, steering, braking, accelerating. An expert driver is scanning the entire environment, anticipating the actions of others, and constantly running what-if scenarios in their head. The expert's silence isn't a lack of confidence, it's a sign of profound awareness. They understand that the road is a complex system, and their role is to navigate it with caution and respect for its inherent unpredictability. Confidence feels good. It feels like certainty, like safety, like being on solid ground. Admitting uncertainty feels uncomfortable. It feels weak. So the mind does something clever. It fills the gaps with confidence. That's why people can watch a 5-minute video and feel ready to argue with experts who spent decades studying the topic, not because they re-stupid, but because they done to yet know what they done to know. This is a cognitive shortcut. Our brains prefer simple, complete stories. When faced with incomplete information, it's easier to invent a sense of mastery than it is to sit with the discomfort of ambiguity. That feeling of knowing is a powerful psychological reward. The problem is, this reward system can trap us. It makes us resistant to new information that might challenge our newfound confidence, locking us on that initial peak without ever giving us a chance to explore the vast landscape of true understanding that lies beyond. Imagine cooking without tasting the food. You follow instinct. You trust your intuition. You're confident it's good. But tasting requires feedback, correction, humility. Knowledge works the same way. People stuck in the Dunning-Kruger phase don't test their understandings. They defend it. The moment you start tasting questioning yourself, confidence drops, and learning begins. A chef who never tastes their own dish is operating on pure assumption. They might believe they've created a masterpiece. But without that critical feedback loop, they have no way of knowing for sure. Similarly, someone who holds an opinion without ever testing it against counterarguments or new evidence is like that chef. They are protecting their initial creation, their idea, from any potential flaw. True learning, like good cooking, is an iterative process. It involves trying something, getting feedback, making adjustments, and trying again. It's a cycle of humility and growth. The people who doubt themselves most are often the ones who know the most, because knowledge reveals complexity, exceptions, contradictions. Wisdom doesn't shout. It pauses. It says, "I might be wrong." That sentence is not weakness. It's evidence of growth. This phenomenon is sometimes called imposter syndrome, and it's the flip side of the Dunning-Kruger coin. Experts are so aware of the nuances and the vastness of their field that they can sometimes underestimate their own abilities compared to others. They know the limits of their knowledge, and this awareness makes them cautious. That pause, that self-doubt, is not a sign of incompetence. It's the hallmark of a truly educated mind, one that respects the complexity of the world and is always open to learning more. It's the intellectual honesty to acknowledge that no one can ever know everything. The Dunning-Kruger effect isn't about them. It's about moments in your own life where confidence arrived before understanding, where certainty replaced curiosity, where defending an idea felt safer than examining it. The uncomfortable truth is this: everyone starts at the peak of confidence. Very few choose to climb down and keep learning. Think about a hobby you first picked up, an opinion you formed quickly, or a skill you thought you had mastered after just a few attempts. We've all been there. The real challenge isn't avoiding that initial peak, it's recognizing when we're on it. It's about cultivating the habit of asking ourselves, what if I'm missing something? What perspective haven't I considered? The journey to genuine knowledge requires the courage to leave the comfort of easy certainty. Knowledge doesn't make you louder. It makes you careful, and the moment you stop needing to sound right, often the moment you start becoming wiser.